Hello guys, I hope you are doing good. Welcome to this new video. Today we are going to talk about 6 different front-end projects that you can create to stand out. It has never been easy to get into tech, but lately due to the layoff and the market situation, the condition has become extreme. So you can create these front-end projects that I'm going to show you to showcase your skill and knowledge of the web. And I'm not going to say that these are the easy projects, but these some of them are the lenient one and some of them are the hard. And when you implement these types of stuff, you learn so many things about the web, about the how things work inside the frameworks, inside the browsers, how to handle network latency and all those things. And also it gives a show of trend to the recruiter that you are capable of pulling out projects of your own or as a team, and you are really thriving to solve different problems that is occurring in the real world. So let's get started. Let's talk about the first project that I've listed. So the first project is the dynamic form generator. In the current world, if you see, there is data collection happening everywhere. So if you see, for example, the Amazon website, it has been operated in multiple countries in the world, and in all these countries they have their own rules and regulations. So the way of collecting the data is different for all these organizations. Now, if there is a web app that creates a dynamic form which is catered according to the need, and it gives a non technical users a functionality that they can drag and drop and create the form according to their need, something similar to type form, and then they add validations, they can add all the customize it at as per their company's theme requirement. So if you can create something similar to this, a dynamic form generator where you create a web app, you give the end user a functionality to drag and drop the GUI and generate a form from that, that will really showcase that you understand how to handle form very well in the browsers. Also, it is not something very easy to handle forms. So they have their own state, and maintaining the data, doing the validation, adding conditional validations is all little tricky. So if you can pull this out, it will be a good project to have in your resume. So I'll add the link for the type form. You can explore and you can get inspiration, or you can see how type form works and try to replicate that, but try to write the code on your own. Don't use any third party library. So in that case you will learn a lot of things. So that's the first project. The second project is a walkthrough library. So many times when you visit a website, right, and you are not aware about how things work on this website, so there is a walkthrough that happens. So for example, if you see, this is the walkthrough. This is a library available in the market which is called intro.js. So let me run the demo from here. If you see, when I click on the run, so there is this pop-up available, right? This shows that this is the first part of the application. You can click the next, then it goes and highlight the second part. If you click next, it shows or highlights the third part, and then it's done. So this is how a simple walkthrough library you can create. You can make it extremely customizable. You can define the path where the user can choose from where to where it should go next, or can use a skip it, can it complete it. So if you can create this library on your own in vanilla JavaScript, or any framework of it, so that will be also a good project to have. Let's go to the third project, sorry. So a video streaming platform. Lately, video has become mainstream. It's one of the most um, seen type of media rather than images. So everywhere there is video streaming happening, and be it Netflix, YouTube, or any other platform that you take. So if you can create a similar platform, so for the front end perspective, not the back end, you don't have to create a streaming engine. You have to handle the streaming very well. You have to show that streaming is happening, you basically you can create a clone of YouTube or Netflix, but make sure that the streaming part where the video audio is getting played, you do the native implementation using the HTML5 video and audio input, and you do it for all the browsers. So you target a set of browsers and you show that I'm able to create this streaming platform for these types of browser for mobile, tablet, web, and then target that I have created this for i11 plus, Chrome 70 plus, and like this. So this will also a good, this is also a good project to have and to show that you understand how things work in the web, how to handle the streaming very well. Let's move to the fourth project. So the fourth project is the one of the most complex project you can create. So we have to create a collaborative text editor, something similar to Google Docs, where multiple users can come. They can write simultaneously. They can edit the doc. They can leave the comment. So this is one of my favorite projects because I have read about it back in the 2019 that a team of students have created this text editor on their own and they landed the job at Google. So the case study is the Conclave case study. I'll add the link of this. You can go through it. So if you see, they have created this private and secure real-time collaborative text editor on your own, three peoples. And this is one of the project that gets you in and out of the computer science. So you have to handle your networks very well. You should understand how latency works. You should understand how delay works. How do you make sure that a person with the slow network who has typed and the person who has a fast network, he has also typed, so there is no conflict in the words. How do you handle that, who has typed first? So that's on the typer's end or on the receiver's end. So all these case you have to handle and then you have to create it. I'm not saying that you create it solely on your own and create a full-fledged excellent product, but you give it a shot, you try to implement this. You can use free editors that are available like CK editor, so it's a free editor available. um, you can use it and you can try to make it collaborative, and you don't have to take it to the server. You can do using WebRTC, you can create the collaboration. So you can try stuff, but this is one of the good projects to have. So see, there is one algorithm listed over here that decide like who has typed first, who has deleted first. So if you go through this, you will understand many things. But this is one of the my favorite front-end projects to do. So if you try this, it will also be a good project to have in your resume. Let's move to the next project. So you can create a JavaScript code execution platform, something similar to lead code, but lead code works for all the browsers, and the execution happens, the code execution happens in a sandbox on the server side. But for the JavaScript, right, the execution can happen in the browser itself. So you don't require a server. You can create a platform where on the one section, you can list down the questions. On the other section, the user can write the implementation and then it can run in the browser. Something similar to the practice.learnersbucket.com. So I've created this for my own practice only. And if you can see here, I have something similar to what I'm mentioning. So you can mention the questions over here and the user can write the code and then he can submit and the code will run in the browser itself. So we can create this also. This also showcases that you understand the browser very well, the way JavaScript code executes, how do you handle the error, how do you handle things. So this is also one of a good project to have. Also you can extend it, so you can create this and then you can extend it further and you can add a collaborative section to this. So an interviewer and a candidate both can have the same platform and they can run this, something similar to this code share. So CodeShare is also a similar platform and it's a free platform, so you can explore these. So multiple people can collaborate and write the code and then execute it. So you can start with this, but you can later extend it to the something similar to CodeShare. Moving to the final project. So analytics and having a dashboard is very important in today's world. So lots of data is being collected from everywhere, and that data has to be processed and shown in a way that normal people can understand, who is non-technical or someone who is not aware about the product, but seeing that data they can understand what's happening. So you can create a user activity monitoring SDK. So this SDK you can implement in JavaScript. This will be a library that you inject in any platform, let's say similar to Google Analytics, and you can configure this library and decide what all user activity you have to track. For example, let's say you have to track the user mouse activity or the user keyboard activity, the typing activity or the exploration activity. So all those things, all those events you can add in this SDK and monitor and then collect that data. So for this, if you are not interested in having a server side or an API, so you can store the data in the Firebase, collect and store the data in the Firebase, and then pull the data from the Firebase and create an analytics dashboard to show that. So you can create a heat map. You can show which user and users are staying on which page for how many times. So all these activity you can track through this user monitoring SDK. So this SDK you can try to implement it yourself natively, and by implementing this you will understand how to handle events, how to capture user data efficiently, in what all way you are going to store that data. So if the user is currently offline, you are going to store that data on your browser storage like local storage or cookies, and once the user gets online you will going to fetch that data and store it back to the server and then use it for the analytics platform. So all those things you can monitor for this project and then you can implement this. So I think that's it. This is the 6 projects I've talked about. So you can, just to summarize this, you can create a dynamic form generator, a walkthrough library, a video streaming platform, a collaborative text editor, a JavaScript code execution platform, or a user activity monitoring SDK. So these are the 6 projects which I have personally gathered. These are not something that I have pulled from anywhere else. So and I personally think that these 6 projects, if you create either 2 or 3 of them based on your interest, then it will be a good project to have on your resume, and it will basically help your resumes to stand out. So if you like this, if you enjoyed this, please share the video. Thank you for your time.